Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 26 things I have learned by 26 years old. Today is currently Tuesday, March 15th. I actually turned 26 years old yesterday, March 14th, and I thought I want to share the 26 things I have learned by 26 years old with you guys, because there's so many things that I've learned throughout my life that I feel like could be valuable or helpful to younger people. So let's get started. Because there's 26 things on this list, I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about each of them because we would literally be here all day, but I will elaborate on some if I feel like they need to be elaborated on. Number one, don't sweat the small stuff. There's so much more to life than worrying about tiny inconveniences or, small mistakes. And so if something like that happens to you, don't worry about it. Don't dwell on it. Just move on from it. Number two, think before you speak. I'm not going to go into detail about this because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Number three, tomorrow is not a guarantee. This one's pretty heavy, and in fact, recently it is something that I have been very much made aware of. Especially with the loss of my grandma. And so I just encourage you guys to remember that. Really, tomorrow is not a guarantee for anybody. It's sad, but it's also true. So, that gives you all the more reason to embrace each new day. Number four, call your loved ones often. You guys, I can't emphasize this enough because, like I just said in the previous one, tomorrow is not a guarantee. And if you don't call your loved ones often, it's horrible to say, and I pray that nothing happens to them, but there is a chance that something could happen to them and you won't get to talk to them tomorrow. So just call your loved ones anytime you think about it. Every chance you get, call your loved ones. Number five, it's good to have a daily routine, but it's also okay to divert from that routine every now and then. You guys know I love schedules, I love routines, I love my daily routine. But right now, I'll be honest with you. We just lost my grandma recently, and I'm still trying to accept that. And I'm kind of just in this period of my life where I'm like not into my routine. And I have to be okay with that. I'm letting myself do what I need to do to get through each day. I haven't been waking up at 4 a.m. to work out and read and have my me time. And you guys, it's because the loss of my grandma is still so fresh. It's still so raw and it's painful. I just haven't had that motivation. But you guys, that's okay. I just need to take time for me and do whatever I need to do to help myself heal in the best way possible. And I can tell that my body really needs extra sleep. I need that extra time in the morning just to sleep and recuperate because it's been a long couple of weeks. It's been hard and I'm not able to pop up at 4 a.m. like I normally can. And so that's why I want you guys to know routines are good, but when you have to divert from that routine, it's okay. Number six, you cannot please everyone. It's not possible to please everyone. It's just not. And I'm still learning this and accepting this because you guys, I am the biggest people pleaser and I will do anything to try to make people happy. But it was to a point where I was trying to do things to make other people happy and I was unhappy. And so that's when there's a problem. That's when you need to, change that and try to work on taking care of yourself and making sure you're okay and filling your cup back up. And also accepting that you cannot please everyone. It is just not physically possible. Number seven, do something each day, even if it's only for a few minutes, to make yourself happy. Number eight, self-care is not optional, it's essential. I could talk about that one forever because you guys know how big I am on self-care. But seriously, taking care of yourself is not selfish. Number nine, if something is important enough to you, you will make it a priority. When I became a mom, I used to say, I don't have time to read because I'm a mom. It occurred to me at almost 26 years old that if I care about something enough, if it's as much of a priority to me as I, think it is, then I will make time for it. So that goes for reading, that goes for working out, that goes for journaling, that goes for, eating healthy. Like, there's so many different things that this can apply to in your life, but for me, it was reading. And once I set aside the time to read each morning, I discovered that I do have time for it. I just had to make that time. Number 10. If you make a grocery list in advance, it's a lot easier to avoid buying things that you don't need. Number 11, spending time with your significant other where neither of you are on devices like phones, computers, tablets, iPads, whatever, is essential. This also goes for people who aren't in a relationship. If you're with your friend, try to set your phones down and talk to each other. You guys, that technology is a really big distraction and can interfere with the conversation. And it's just much better if you guys can both interact with each other fully, and there's no distractions. Number 12, your cell phone is not your identity. This kind of goes along with the last thing I said, but if you prioritize being on your phone more than you do being with the people around you, there might be a problem. Every single thing on this list is something that I've experienced personally. And so don't think that I'm just trying to be like, don't do this, don't do that. Because these are all life lessons that I have learned because I have experienced them or done them, gone through them, Number 13, sunshine is actually really good for your mental health. When I was at my worst with postpartum depression, I actually did find that stepping outside and just getting a little bit of vitamin D and just letting the sun hit my skin was like really revitalizing and kind of helped me feel a lot better. Now, I don't want to say sunshine is like the cure for mental health issues. You guys know. No. You know how big I am on, getting help with a therapist, or if you need to take medication, do that, talking to a doctor. Like, you know how big I am on that and how much of an advocate I am for that. But I just feel like I should say that sunshine has actually helped me whenever I'm struggling. If I'm having a day where I'm a bit more anxious, I'll say, hey, Kevin, can we go for a walk? And he's like, sure. And just getting outside, going for that walk can do so much for me. So if you are, a little bit anxious or you're kind of sad, try stepping outside. It might help. Number 14, working out does not just help you physically. It helps you mentally too. I don't need to talk about this one too much because I talk about it a lot, but you guys, working out does wonders for my mental health. Number 15, making your bed in the morning can actually lead to a more productive day. I'm not saying if you make your bed, you're gonna immediately have the motivation to clean your entire house or, organize, but I do believe that making your bed is a good way to get yourself motivated in the morning, get yourself, in the groove of things. And anytime I make my bed, I'm able to feel like I can move on to other tasks that I have to get done, like laundry, dishes, whatever it is on my list. I do feel like making my bed does make me more productive. Number 16, setting designated days for laundry is a good way to prevent you from falling behind on laundry and keeps you from being overrun by dirty clothes. I usually always do laundry twice a week, and I find that this is a really good way to make sure that we don't ever run out of our clothes or towels or anything. It also prevents you from sitting down and staring at a massive pile of laundry that needs to be put away because I've been there, and having like laundry mountain on your bed is the most overwhelming feeling in the world, and it makes you just never want to touch it. You just want to keep procrastinating because it's awful. Number 17, you have to surround yourself with people who make you happy. If you find yourself constantly questioning the things you're doing and saying when you're around your friends, those probably aren't your people. Number 18, it's better to have fewer friends with more meaningful relationships than to have a lot of friends. You guys, the best example of this is my best friend, Becca. We have literally been best friends since first grade, so literally 20 years of friendship. She lives a few hours away now, and she has a career and she's getting established in a new place. And I have Grayson and, Kevin, and we have our own lives and we're doing different things and we're kind of in different phases in a way, but we are always making sure that the other person is okay. We're always checking in. We're always catching up. And I can always count on her for anything. And I hope she knows she can always count on me for anything. You guys, my grandma's memorial is this Friday. I texted my best friend about it, and in the text I basically said, like, I totally understand that you can't be there because you do have work, but I just wanted to let you know that this is the plan for her service. Almost immediately she responded and said she would be there. Like, that is true friendship, and I would do the same thing for her. Like, that's just our relationship. And I will take that one true meaningful friendship that's gonna last for a lifetime over several friendships. Number 19, if you only put time into your dating relationships when you're in college or in high school and not into your personal relationships, you're probably not gonna have those friendships later on in life. Not to say that you would have had those friendships guaranteed, but you guys, something I did learn, and it was a hard lesson to learn in college, was prioritizing your dating relationship over your friendships isn't always the best. Do I regret it? A little bit, yeah, because maybe I would have more friendships, but you know, at the end of the day, like, I'm so thankful for what Kevin and I have, and he is one of my best friends, and so yeah, but I just feel like it's something that I didn't realize back then. I didn't realize it in high school, and I didn't realize it in college. And that's why I'm sharing this lesson I've learned with you. Number 20, we grieve because we love. And we are so lucky to have experienced that love. This is actually a quote that I found online. I just kind of paraphrased it a little bit, but this is something that I have learned, especially recently, about grief. That's the best way to think about it is, you know, you had that person that you loved so much, and while they're gone, and it's really, really hard, and it's sad, and you question it, you don't understand it, we're still so thankful that we got to experience that love and experience everything that that person gave. So while grieving is hard and it's sad, and I'm no expert on grieving because, you guys, it's not even been 2 weeks since we've lost my grandma. I found that quote and I was like, that's so important. That is so important, and it did bring me a little bit of comfort. So if you're grieving someone that you've lost recently, I hope that maybe it can bring you a little bit of comfort too. Number 21, establishing good habits can really propel you in life. I'm not sure if you guys have read the book Atomic Habits. I've read bits and pieces of it, and my goal is to read the whole thing this year. But there are so many good points made in that book about habits, and if you haven't read it, highly recommend. Like, the pieces that I have read are just amazing and so inspiring. And it just goes to show you how important it is to have good habits. 22, seeking help for anxiety or depression or other mental health struggles is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a testament to how strong you really are, that you're able to take what you're going through and open up to somebody about it. Never feel ashamed to ask for help because you matter. Number 23, dishes and laundry are a lot more fun when you listen to music while you do them. 24, you need to wait 7 days before making a big purchase. If after the 7 days you are still set on buying that item, making that purchase, and it hasn't occurred to you that it might not be necessary and it's, you know, more of a need than a want, then you can make that purchase. This is the 7-day rule, and it is something that Kevin and I have started doing. We did it with purchasing our bed, and it's really helped us not buy anything we don't need in 2022, which is one of our goals. And so I just encourage you, if you have like a big item, furniture, something that you're wanting to buy, wait on it. Wait 7 days. And if after that 7 days, you decide that you do still need that item and it's definitely more of a need than just a want or an impulse buy, then that is your green light to go ahead and buy that item. Number 25, disagreements that you have with somebody are better to have in person if you can, rather than through texting. You guys, so much gets lost in texting. The tone of somebody's text is completely misconstrued sometimes, and it can lead to fights that aren't even necessary. Silly things, you know? Like, I can't tell you how many times Kevin and I have gotten in an argument texting, and it really was just because, like, you know, we misunderstood what the other was saying, or we misunderstood like the tone of a text, because again, there is no tone in texting. So it's definitely not a good idea for the most part to have an argument through texting or through a texting thread, because usually it's not going to end well. You know, it's definitely better to talk face to face if possible. And number 26, the best, most rewarding heartfelt conversations happen on long drives. Grayson is the result of a conversation we had on a long drive. You know, we had been married a couple years and I really wanted a baby. And Kevin was worried because we were trying to buy a house first, but we were on our way back from a trip, and on that drive home, you know, we saw apartments that kind of sparked a discussion about how it's totally possible to have a baby and live in an apartment. And, you know, it just wasn't really practical for us to buy a house at that point. And that goal of owning a home and then having a baby wasn't necessarily what our life was gonna look like, at least with our first baby. So, you know, it was that discussion that sparked getting this apartment that I am sitting in right now, you know, upgrading to a 2-bedroom. And then we set a date for when we were gonna start trying. Now, okay, that date was actually pushed back a little bit farther a few months later, but that is how Grayson came to be. And it was a long drive that sparked that whole discussion about getting a 2-bedroom apartment and having Grayson. And I literally would not change a thing about that. And obviously, like, Grayson is the biggest blessing. We are so thankful to have him. And I'm so thankful for that long drive, because I feel like it was such a pivotal moment for Kevin and I in our marriage. Like, we were on different pages, because I was like, are we gonna buy a house? Are we gonna buy a house? Or because I want to have a baby? And he was like stressed out, because he's like, oh, like, I think we should save more money. I think we should be more prepared when we buy our first house. And obviously, you know, he's right. But it was the first time that we both like were on the same page as far as that kind of thing went. And it never feels that, you know, usually every long drive we take, we end up having a, you know, deep, heartfelt discussion. Well, that is all the things on my list, all 26 of them. I really hope that you found them valuable. I hope if you're younger than me, you're able to possibly learn from this video and take some of these lessons with you in your life. I'm really happy that I got to make this video for you guys, and I hope that, you know, my kids can actually watch this video one day and possibly learn from it too. So that would be really cool. I am probably gonna go take a nap because that was pretty exhausting, but I will see you in the next video.